Hi YouTube, it's me again, Robert Holloway. In this video I'd like to talk about the difference between the brain, the physical brain, and the spiritual mind. Now I have to say spiritual mind because the mind that I'm talking about is something that we keep even after death, as well as before we were born. It's the most intelligent part of our nature. And it's connected to every other mind. Now, I've asked my spirit guides or guardian angels or whatever you want to call them, what is intuition? And they basically told me that intuition, well, they didn't say it, but they showed me a picture of a cell phone. And from my understanding, the intuition is like a spiritual cell phone that other souls and spirits. I'm going to tell you the difference between a soul and a spirit. But it's how they communicate to us in the physical world. If anything, the intuition is more like it's a cell phone. The brain is like, it's like an antenna, and the mind is like the radio waves. At least that's the way I kind of saw it, or to my understanding, it was similar to that. The metaphor is it can be distorted in any way, but that's my closest understanding of what they were saying, what the intuition was. Now the thing about intuition is that it can turn into paranoia. And paranoia is when bad souls, when bad souls are trying to communicate to us. But the thing is, they use our voice, the sound of our voice to communicate. That's why it sounds like it's so personal. So when you have like a intuition saying that, let me think. This is just an example. But if they say that you're ugly or you're stupid, that's the malefic spirits that are talking to you. They're not really spirits, they're souls. I should have defined that a little bit more. A soul is a entity that had or has a physical form, be it a human being, a tree, a crystal, an animal. A soul is basically something that has inherited a physical body. Now the thing about the soul is that it always stretches the body. So basically anything that grows has a soul. And some of these souls, when they die, oh gosh, I mean, you talk about therapy, but when they die, sometimes they're too scared, or they're too angry that they died, or even worse, they're addicted to something of the living, of the material world. Now there are two types of malefic souls, and they're both earthbound. One is known as demons. Demons are the ones that want to hurt the living. And the other one is called fays. You know, things like fairies and gnomes and mermaids and things like that. The thing is, I can't say that the fays are also demons because some of them do want to hurt the living, but the majority of them don't give a fuck about the living. However, they're going through their own what's a good word for it? They're going through their own coping strategies. You know, like when we lose somebody in the living, somebody that died, for example, not even died, sometimes like divorce can cause this. But we go through our form of coping. Sometimes we get so angry, sometimes we just break down and just cry about it. But to the earthbound face, they're sad because of many things. Um, but this is not the video for this right now. I've got to focus back. All right, the difference between the brain, the physical brain, and the spiritual mind. Now, whatever we do here on Earth, Earth is like a school. Whatever we do here on Earth, we record it in our minds. That's the part that we could bring back home, or heaven, bring back to heaven. That's a part of us that live forever. The brain, unfortunately, is more consumed about survival. And sometimes it gets addicted to things like drugs, alcohol. In my case, being diabetic, it's food. I get addicted to food. I have an addiction towards glucose, or like sugar or carbs. Which is kind of funny because gay guys they don't really support carbs. But I love carbohydrates, be it bread, rice, pasta, potato chips, all those carbs. I love carbs. The mind is far more intelligent because it can remember. It remembers all of our lives. Every life that we go through. It remembers it. Be it this dimension or some other dimension. And it gets in a lot more details. I mean, Earth is not the only school. It's the hardest school. I don't think it's the hardest one, but everybody say it is the hardest one. I just don't think it is. I mean, yeah, we suffer a lot here on Earth. All of us has a tale to tell when it comes to Earth. I don't think it's a bad place. I think it's pretty cool. It's not as beautiful as home is, or heaven, but when we're born here on Earth, we call it home because it's all we know. Or at least that's what the brain thinks. The mind has a record of everything. The brain, like I said, is more concerned about survival. It's more concerned about tradition. Oh, it's not. Well, yeah. But it's more concerned about what we need to survive. It's a part of us that wants to get up, go to work, make money, pay our taxes. Yeah, right. Buy a car, buy a house, get an education. That's all the coping strategy of the brain, the physical brain. Also, what to eat, what drugs we want to take. It deals with addiction as well because it's very traditional. It wants to survive. It'll do whatever it can to make the body live longer. But truth be told, our bodies are not who we are. This physical thing, it's. Don't get me wrong, I'm not suicidal or anything. It's just, it's so heavy and it's well, I can't say disgusting. It's too much maintenance. It's just too much to take care of. The brain is what controls the breathing. It controls the appetite. It controls the blood flow and everything like that. The mind also deals with it, but it's not. It's more like a back burner type of thing. The mind, or I should say, the spiritual consciousness, is the part is who we truly are. It's what we think. It's where our abilities of intuition lies, our psychic ability lies. It's how we communicate to other souls, as well as our contact to our Creator, whoever you want to see that to be. Um, because I really don't think God cares if you call God he or she or it or them. As long as you believe and you trust God, and you know God is love, and knowing that God is divine unconditional love, you're taken care of. You've got nothing to fear. You've got no reason to hate. Now I've experimented, not really experimented. Well, yeah, I guess you could say. I asked God to teach me how to love, and ever since then, I learned to love myself. I learned to love others. When I see human beings out there, I want to love them, but I know I have to keep my distance. Kind of like what the spirit guides are doing. They love us, but they're keeping their distance because we have to learn. Like I said, Earth is another form of school. And the only things we could take with us when we die is our mind and our heart. What we think and what we feel. That's the stuff we get to keep. Not the body. Not those material things. Not the money. Not the house or the car. But things that really are important to the soul. So that's all I have to say now about that topic. I probably might say more later on. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you could be so kind to thumbs up it to let me know how much you guys like this video. It'll boost my ego, but you don't really have to. I guess it's some kind of a contest that YouTube is doing. I don't really care about it, but it'll be nice to know that I made a video that somewhat helped you. Thank you for watching, though, whether you like it or not. Thank you. Bye now.